Just a quick housekeeping item. I actually planned out my shows from January to June when I dropped the podcast earlier this year. But with the pandemic that we are going through and the changes in our lives, I felt that it was appropriate for me to have a show that addressed those issues but kind of made people feel good. So this episode really is just some of my listener questions, because I thought it'd be fun and funny. And then some things you can do to deal with the quarantine and staying home and how to deal with the kids, your personal being, as well as your partner. So hopefully it just is light and love and brings a little bit of fuckery and energy into your life at a time where things are kind of like, I don't know, for a lack of a better term, fucked up. So I hope you enjoy. Hey. All right. It is Friday, my favorite day of the week. Woo! It's been a hell of a week, y'all. Coronavirus edition. But it's time for another episode of Say It Loud, so you can get your little giggle time in. So you already know what to do, right? For all you wine drinkers, go get your wine glasses and your wine. For those of you that need something stronger, I don't blame ya. Go get your shot glasses, your Henny, or your Ciroc. Come here, check. And for those of you that are like, Karen, we not fucking with y'all right now. It's okay. I'm a multifaceted woman. I get it. Go get your chamomile tea, your lavender tea, your ginger tea. Sit back, relax, and get ready for another episode of Say It Loud. We bringing the fuckery, y'all. Hello, my beautiful lovies. Let me start off by saying I feel so sorry for you guys that are cooped up inside. I know coronavirus has us all scared and nervous and, thinking about our loved ones. And then there's people out there on the front lines working. So I just want to say thank you to all the people that are out on the front line working. I want to say to all the people that are home, working from home, that are listening to the podcast every day, I see you. And I love you. And for those of you that are having a hard time coping with all of this, just remember that you're not alone. We're all struggling with it. It's a lot. And for those of you that listen to me in other states, like New York City is crazy right now. Like, I've lived here my whole entire life. I've never seen Times Square shut down like a no man's land. I've never seen places. The city that never sleeps is in hibernation. And for the people that are here every day and see it every day and then kind of look at it like this and see it like this, it's a whole new world for us. So, I'm very sympathetic to the people that are having anxiety, to the people that feel caged in, to the people that are struggling. I gave some tips last week on how to deal with the kids as an educator. Hopefully you guys use them. I'll go over them really quickly again today. Have the kids on a schedule, man. Have the kids on a schedule, like get them up at a certain time. They should be online going to school. I'm online teaching. They go online going to school. They should be reading. Give them time to play because they're kids. If they can get some fresh air without getting contaminated with anything, give them a little bit of fresh air. I took my son out. We had masks on. We had gloves on. Like, it's real. It's real. This shit is real. But remember that they're kids, so engage with them, play with them, talk to them, give them activities to do. Kids like structure. So the more structure you give them, the better. So if that means like, okay, from 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to watch cartoons. From 10 to 12, we're going to work. From 12 to 1, we're going to have lunch. Like, the best you can do for them is kind of put them on. And as adults too, I think that helps. Like, we can't be in our pajamas every day. It just doesn't feel good. We like it when we don't get to do it, but when you're doing that for 2 weeks straight, it doesn't feel fun. Even myself, I've been in spandex for a week now, and I'm like, oh snap, this doesn't look the way I want it to look. So definitely think about yourself. I also posted something on my Instagram, if you follow me, just about taking care of ourselves. Like, I really think that everybody should come out of this in a better situation than we went in. Meaning that now is the time to start that business you always wanted, to lose that weight you always wanted to do, to write a book, to read a book, to start painting, to have a deeper connection with your partner, to spend time with your kids, to write a letter that you've been meaning to write to someone, to practice something that you've never tried before. Maybe it's photography or painting or building Legos, or I don't know, but dig deeper into yourself so that when this is over, we come out as better people. For me, I took for granted, like, people would invite me out, and I'm a homebody. As much as you see me out, like, I go out for business, I go out for work, but day to day, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm running a business, I'm working a full-time job, I'm taking care of the kid. Like, a lot of times I get invited out, I'm like, I'm staying home tonight, because I'm always out, I'm always on the run. And now I'm like, damn, I really took advantage of that. I really took advantage of thinking like, oh, I could do that later. It'll be there later. It's not that big of a deal. And now I'm like, damn, I wish I would have went out. I wish I would have went to that brunch. I wish I would have went to that party. I wish I would have went to that event, because I just took it for granted that, like, I can do that anytime. And now when someone takes that away from you, you really realize it. So just be very reflective of who you are in these moments, in these weeks, and take care of yourself too, and take care of your being. Also, that doesn't just mean physically. So I've been getting out every day and exercising. A sister could lose a little extra 10 pounds. I'm a little snuggly right now. I said snuggly. So taking care of your emotional well-being. So some people got the news on all day. That gonna make you sick. You know what I mean? Watch what you need to watch and then keep it pushing. Because if you get I'm an empath. I put the news on all day. I'm finna be sitting here crying, depressed, thinking we're in a zombie apocalypse. So, because that's just the nature of who I am. I want to help people. I want to do something. I cry. Like, that's just how I am. So I don't want to take that on. So you have to know, like, when enough is enough. And when it's too much also for our children. Because they don't need to be engulfed in that. And then say to yourself, okay, I had enough of this for today. I'm going to do what I have to do and get up and work and take a shower and do my hair. And, gentlemen, the same for you. Go exercise or whatever it is you need to do. Fix something you've been meaning to fix in the house. And do those things because they are healthy for you. They are healthy. All right. So with that said, what we talking about today, Karen? So I have 2 segments for you today. So stay on. The first segment we're going to talk about is I asked my listeners to send me questions, and I would answer your questions on the show. So guess what I'm going to do for the next 20 minutes or so? I'm going to answer the questions y'all sent me. So be ready for that, because the people that sent me questions, I'm going to answer you. And the people that didn't send them, but you was thinking it, we're going to go through those in about 2 seconds. So I am going to answer some of my listeners' questions. They are anonymous, so I will not be giving any names. But we are just going to go through those questions really quick. This is for shits and giggles. It's coronavirus edition. We just want to have a good time. I'm going to answer your questions. And maybe another episode we can do this again. So let me get started with question number 1. So I didn't write down the names of the people I took these questions from, but I wanted it to be anonymous because I don't want someone to feel uncomfortable about asking me a question. So for question number 1, let me read it. Karen L., what are your thoughts on interracial dating? Bruh, I don't really care. I don't even think this should be a question. The only reason I'm putting it in the show is because somebody asked me. I don't think interracial dating should be a question. My personal opinion is if 2 people are happy, it's none of anybody else's fucking business. That's my honest opinion. So whether that person is black or white, Indian, Chinese, purple, orange, an alien, Mexican, Brazilian, whatever they are, if 2 people are happy, then they're happy. What it got to do with you? Why is that something that you're looking at or not looking at? And so there's a lot of people that's like, I won't date this person or I won't date that person. Sis or sir, you are single. And so maybe the love of your life or someone that could love you or be interested in you may not look like you. They may not. And you might share 2 different cultures. That doesn't mean you can't have a happy, healthy relationship. So as far as I'm concerned, no, I don't think interracial relationships is an issue. It ain't my issue. I know I've heard in the past where people have said like, celebrity guys, or they only date white women when they get on, or whatever the case may be. Bro, like, sis, if he gonna be with you, he gonna be with you. And if he not, he not. You can't tell people what their preference is. If we go to a restaurant, I'm not telling you what to order. So you can't tell that man what to order, and vice versa. There's men that are saying like, she shouldn't be dating outside her race. Dude, was you gonna date her? Are you dating her at that level? So it's easy for us to create judgment on other people, but like, are you meeting the standards and giving that person what they need? I don't know. But I don't think it should really necessarily be an issue. It's the same thing with people who are in relationships with the people that are same sex. Like, if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. But why do you care if somebody else is happy or not happy? That's none of your business. You don't get to choose that. If someone decides that that's what they want to do, then that's what or that's who they are, and that's how their life and their lifestyle, and that's what they're attracted to, and that's the way God made them. Then that's what it is. Water's wet. That's what it is. They're entitled to be with whoever it is they want to be with. And you either get with it or don't get with it. But the reality is, just the same way someone can't sit here and tell you who to be with, you can't sit and tell somebody else who to be with. So my personal opinion on interracial relationships is that at some point in time on the planet, and I probably won't be here for it, we're all going to be mixed with something else, and that if two people are happy and it's a healthy relationship, then leave them the fuck alone. That's my honest opinion about interracial relationships. If it don't concern you and it doesn't directly affect you, then what the fuck do you care? What do you care? Oh, well, celebrities this and celebrities that. Who cares? They're happy or not happy. You don't fucking know them. Who cares? And even if you did know them, if they're happy, leave them fuck alone. I don't personally think it should be a question. Anyhow, next question. Karen L. I go out often and men don't try to talk to me. Let me read that. All right. So this is a female, obviously, who says she goes out often, but men do not approach her. Okay. So my, what do I do? So my advice to you, as far as like you go out and men don't approach you, is a couple things, right? Number one, in order to be approachable, you have to make yourself be approachable, right? And I know I should give a class on this on Teachable or whatever, one of those things, because like women will write things like, oh, I go out all the time and men do not approach me and I don't meet anyone. So here's how that works, right? Ladies, you have to make yourself approachable. And sometimes, no matter how, okay, so if you look like a bum and your energy is not open to somebody coming over because you seem stark or cold, they're not going to come over. They're going to be intimidated or uncomfortable, right? And vice versa, if you're too beautiful and you're too put together and you're too standoffish and you're just like, ugh, then someone's not going to come and talk to you either, right? It's going to take a man a lot of confidence to come and talk to you, because nobody wants to be shut down, and people definitely don't want to be shut down in public in front of everybody else, right? So there's a couple of things you need to do. You need to check your body language, right? Your body language says a lot. It is an energy that you give out, whether you know it or not. And a lot of people don't know that, and they're not aware of their body language, but you need to check your body language. What are you putting out? Because whatever you put out, that's what the universe is going to bring back to you, right? So if you're standing there, you're not laughing, you don't have a drink, you look uncomfortable, you roll in your eyes, you're just you're very cold in the energy that you give, and then somebody's not necessarily going to feel comfortable coming up to you and talking to you. Right? You have to remember that this person, it takes them, some kind of comfort in who they are and what they see to be able to have a honest conversation. And you have to remember from the point of view of a man, like, okay, I got to find a reason to go over there and talk to her. I got to find a reason to start a conversation. What if she shoots me down? What if her friends say something? Right? They go through that. So you have to check the energy that you're putting out there and kind of match that energy, not just with what you're saying, but what you're actually doing. That's number one. Number two, where are you when you're waiting for these conversations to happen, right? Because, like, it might be different in a club, which I don't know why people do it, because I can hardly hear anyone in a club, versus a lounge versus McDonald's, right? So you might have to also kind of look at that, like what the environment is, that someone will be able to come and approach you and talk to you. I also feel like it's 2020, and like women are in a place where, and I know there's a lot of people who are going to be against me, like, no, men should do the courting and men should do the ones pushing up. Sis, you can't be like, I'm a go-getter, and then you don't want to go get no man. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, sis, shoot your shot. And I know some guys will be like, I don't know, like women not really supposed to do that. But we live in a society where we want to be old school, but we're moving to a whole nother way, right? And so I'm not saying like push up on a dude and be like, yo, let me take you home tonight. That sounds a little reckless. However, if you know that you want, and I know they're always like, well, men are supposed to do the pursuing. But sometimes a man don't know you're interested in him. How the fuck he supposed to know you're interested in him? He a mind reader? How are you supposed to know? How's he supposed to know? Honestly, how is a man that you meet at a brunch or at a club or at a lounge supposed to know you find him attractive? He's just supposed to fucking assume that? If you're not looking at him and give him some googly eyes and make the eye contact and play the games. And like, we grown folks. This grown folks talk, right? Sis, shoot your shot. Send a drink. I've had that conversation before on the show. Send a drink. Or don't send a drink. Say something. Spark up a conversation. Whatever it is may be. I like your shirt. I like your jacket. Where you from? I like your bid. Whatever. But you got to also put some effort into what happens to you, because there's a lot of women that like, I'm not dating. I don't meet anybody, or nobody approaches me. Did you approach anybody? Did you make yourself approachable? What are you expecting? You know, that's not an easy position to be in. Why don't you try it one time and see how it works and see how you feel? On the flip side, I've asked men this number of times, like, how would they feel if a woman approached them or send them a drink? And we talked about this. I talked about it with Lord's Finesse interview. And some men actually appreciate it. Like, oh, she sent me a drink over. I'm going to go talk to her. You know? And she made an effort, so I'm going to go talk to her, because they don't want to be shot down. It's a vulnerable situation for them, too. So I definitely think if you're out and you want that type of energy, you first need to kind of think about the energy that you're putting out there and what your expectations are. But you definitely need to look for an opportunity also, sis, where you shoot your shot. Now, I'm not saying chase the man, right? If he don't want to give you his number, if he take the free drink and give you a cheers and be like, I got a girlfriend, then okay. Like, it is what it is. You got a girl, he has a drink, it was nice to meet you. That's it. And you can respect that. And I know a lot of women are like, no, I can't respect that because she sent a drink to my man. First of all, how's she supposed to know that you had a man? Just like vice versa, if he go out and he try to holler at her, how's she supposed to know he had a girl? This is just breaking the ice and looking for ways as adults to break the ice, because we're not little kids anymore, right? And so, you know, you got to kind of be in charge of what happens to you too, and take some of the initiative and what happens to you if that's something that you want to do. Okay. All right. Good luck. Next question. So my partner and I have been together for 3 years. We have a baby that's 6 months old. I want to get married, and he has been stalling. What do you think I should do? I think you should have got married before the baby came. But I think you really need to reflect on the relationship you're in. And I think that it's healthy for couples to have discussions about what each other wants before we get to the point where we have children, or before we get to the point to say that I'm sitting here waiting 3 years for a ring. My personal opinion is a ring doesn't make a relationship any better. It's two people who want to work at it that make the relationship any better. But I do understand solidifying that relationship and making an honest woman out of you. I definitely think that there's a conversation that needs to be had between the two of you about what each want. There's a lot of people who have children but don't necessarily want to get married, and that's a conversation that would have been better probably to happen before you had a child. And now that you do have a child, you have to be very honest in what you want and the direction that this relationship is going in, because you cannot force somebody to marry you. You can give them an ultimatum and say, you know what, if you don't marry me by such and such date, I'm going to leave. But they could call you bluff. And, you know, then what you going to do? So, and really, I wouldn't want to be forced to marry. I personally wouldn't want to be forced to marry anybody. So I don't want to force somebody to marry me. On the flip side of things, that gentleman, your partner, also has to understand, like, this is a relationship. And at some point, this is the goal. And you have to let them know that. And if that wasn't the intention and that's not that other person's goal, then we need to have that conversation. Because I also don't think that someone should be waiting around 5 years for you to figure out what you want. Right? That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to the baby, and that's not fair to him. Like, you should have an idea of what you want for your future, whether I'm in it or not in it, and the capacity that I'm going to be in it, and have that conversation so that you can set your expectations and set his expectations and know which direction your family is going in. It's a tough conversation to have, and you can't get mad if he says, well, I don't want to get married right now. It is what it is. He just doesn't want to get married right now. The next thing is, what do you do? What are you going to do? Are you going to say, okay, well, I do, and since you don't want to get married, I'm moving on? Or are you going to say, well, that's okay, when will you want to get married, and I'll wait? And so ultimately, that decision is going to be on you if it comes back that he can't give you what you want right now. So I would have the conversation. It's a hard conversation, but it's a very real conversation to have. And your life and your future are very real and very important, and so they're conversations that you need to have, right? If you were working for someone and they were your employer, and you were saying, well, am I going to be here for 3 years or not be here, you will want to know, well, this is a bigger decision than that, and so you need to have that conversation. Good luck. Next question. Ooh, they're getting juicy. What do you do with a cheater? Girl, shit, I don't know. Or guy, shit, I don't know if it was from a guy or girl. It says, what do you do with a cheater? Okay, the question isn't, what do you do with a cheater? The question is, once you find out if they cheated or that they cheated, what the hell are you going to do? That's the question. The question isn't what to do with them. The question is, what are you going to do? And so if you're in a relationship and that person cheats on you, you have maybe one or two options, right? Option number one, you stay with that person and you eat the L. You deal with the fact that they cheated, and you say, we're going to work on it, we're going to fix it, whatever the case may be, but you're going to have to eat that L. You're going to have to take it like a champ on the chin, or like Rocky on the ground, but you're going to have to take it. Or you can say, I don't trust you, I can't be with you, I'm going to leave. But the question isn't, what are you going to do with a cheater? The question is, how are you going to deal with that cheater? What decisions are you going to make? Because ultimately, you can't force anyone to stop what they're doing, or you can't change what they did or how you feel. You think you can change how you feel, like, okay, we could deal with this. You could try. I'm not saying there's a lot of people that have tried and they've been successful. But you have to decide on your end how you're going to deal with that situation. Not what you're going to do with them. Not how you're going to deal with them. How are you going to deal with yourself in that situation? So I put it back on you. Now, what should I do with a cheater? What are you going to do with yourself in this situation? Somebody cheats on you. What you going to do? You're going to eat the L and take it and say, okay, you know what? We're going to work through this. And then you got to make your mind up and do that shit, if that's what you choose. And you can't be bringing it up and fighting over it 4 or 5 years from now, because you said you was going to stay and you was going to move past it. So then you got to stay and move past it. If you can't stay and move past it, then you got to say, okay, I don't think I could stay and move past this. I don't think I could work with this. This is not the direction I want my life to go. What if it keeps happening? Yada, 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 yada. And then you got to make the decision. Are you going to stay or are you going to go? And then you make that decision. So it really isn't so much about, what do you do when somebody cheats? What do you do with them? The question is, what are you going to do for yourself? Because you can't control them. You can say, okay, they're never going to do it again. But if they do it again, you can't make them come home a certain time. You can't do that. That's not how that works. People are entitled to live their lives who they are, the way they are, whatever they, and you may agree with it or not agree with it, right or wrong, but you can't treat them like a 2-year-old. So that just is what it is. That just is what it is. So you got to figure out that. I'm sorry, but I kept it really real with you though. Next question. How do you manifest? Oh, all right. So I'm smiling while I'm reading this. So how do you manifest? So I started, see, things you learn about me. So I started living in a space of gratitude a couple years ago, because I just was always around people that made me feel like things were negative. And so I started to really kind of look at life from a different perspective and kind of just being grateful and thankful every day, all day, for everything. And if you know me personally, you know my spirits are always up and I'm always having fun and I don't really get down. And if I do, it don't be that long. But I really started practicing mindfulness and gratitude, I would say maybe about, my son is 10, maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. And just being in this, it could be longer that it started, and it definitely was a transition period in my life, where I just started looking at life differently, and I just started living in this space of gratitude, living in this place of mindfulness. I taught myself how to meditate, and eventually I got to a place where I started manifesting things. And I started manifesting things because when I would say, and I'll be telling people this, everything you say is a spell, and everything you say to yourself is a spell, right? And whatever you believe in your heart and believe in your mind and say with your mouth, you will manifest it, right? And so if you always thinking about I'm broke, then guess what? You're going to be broke. If you always thinking about I'm hungry, you're going to always be hungry. If you always thinking shit is fucked up, then shit is always going to be fucked up. And when I started to see that, I was like, nah, like, I'm not doing that. I'm not jumping in that. Like, I don't think like that. My life is not like that. I could do anything I put my mind to. I can manifest the things that I want. And over the course of my life, I've done it, and it was crazy because I've done it to the point where I didn't even believe that that's what I was doing at the time. Like, I would say little shit and I wouldn't even, good things. I would say, like, I remember buying my first Lexus, and my mom was like, if you buy that car now, I was 20 something years old, and if you buy that car now, what are you going to have next? And I was like, oh, Mom, I'm going to buy a Benz. And sure enough, year and a half later, 2 years later, I walked to the Benz dealership and bought a Benz. Like, I've seen it happen in my life. Not just with physical things, because honestly, the truth about life is those are not the most important things, but in other things in my life. And the more that I practiced that, and the more that I stayed steadfast with that, the more things manifested. So I now encourage people to manifest the things that they want. And it's basically, and I could do a whole show on this, but it's basically getting up every day and being in a place of gratitude, knowing what you want, being very specific for what you want, speaking it into existence, working for it into existence, and then and letting the universe conspire to do what it does, right? And so not putting negative energy into things, not allowing people to put negative energy into things, because sometimes, and I'll talk about this on the show, sometimes the people you sharing shit with, they beating your shit down with negative bats. You know what I mean? And they're stripping away the things that are manifesting for you because they throwing hate at it and negative energy. So keeping some of those things dear to you. But I definitely will tell anybody to write down the things that you want most in life. Do not worry about how you are going to get them. That is not for you to do. That's between God and the universe. And be very clear in what it is that you want. Write them down, put them in a place where you can manifest good thoughts about them, visualize them, and then let it happen. Let it happen for yourself. Do not sabotage yourself into the things that you think should happen or how it should happen or it don't make sense. It's not about it making sense. That's not how this works. So if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, oh, I want this job, but I can't get it because I don't have a degree. I don't have this. I don't have that. There go you putting negative energy into it. And now you're not going to get it because you already talked yourself out of it. You already talked the universe out of it. You already talked whatever energy you had out of it. You got to be like, yo, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. And it might not take 3 months. It might take 5 months. It might take 6 months. It might take 2 years. It might take an opportunity. It might be the eggs, the flour, the sugar, and everything it is. You need to bake a cake. It just might not be the whole entire cake the way you thought it was going to come to you. But you have to be open to that so that things can manifest in your life. And it works. It works. There's also quantum jumping. There's also visualization manifestations. There's writing things. There's meditation on the things that you want. You could definitely go do your research. But I would tell people from my own past experiences and the joy that it has brought to me that it's okay to manifest the things you want, that they don't need to make sense to anybody but you, that it's okay that you don't share it with anyone. You don't have to. And that every day that you get up, that you're pushing good energy into who you are and the things that you want. And not just, you can't just be manifesting and be like, yo, I want a BMW. I want a big house. I want a bad bitch. Like, it really has to be things wholeheartedly in your heart that you want, that you get up every day, that you don't mind working for, making the sacrifices for. Because like I said, it might not come to you the way you want it or the way you think it's going to come to you. And so you have to be prepared to meet it halfway. And so, you know, this can't just be, let me just make a list of frivolous bullshit and it don't matter. This has to be things that you really heartfully. Your energy is in it, your stomach is in it, the butterflies are in it, your chakras are in it, all of that are in it, so that it could manifest. If you're not going into it with positive energy, good energy, and it being real, it's not going to happen. But I encourage everybody to manifest the things that they want in their life. I encourage everybody to live in a place of gratitude. The more you are grateful for, the more things you will have to be grateful for. And let me tell you, I know it be sounding crazy. Like, people talk to me and they be like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? I am grateful for the sun. If the sun's out, whoo, I'm happy. The butterflies, the grasshoppers, the grass, my feet in the grass, the beach, the ocean, the water, the shells. Like, anybody knows me knows this about me. I dance. I literally dance in the rain. If it's raining in the summer, I will go outside with no shoes on and dance in the rain. I love and I'm grateful for every time I see my dad use his cell phone and his glasses are on the tip of his nose. It fills my soul. When my mom calls me and tells me she cooked for me, come pick it up, it fills my soul. When I hear my granddaughter laugh, it fills my soul. When I get a call from over the pond, it fills my soul. When I see two people that are happy together, my friends, my family, a couple who I don't fucking care sometimes who they are, it makes me happy. I am the type of person. I was in DC this summer, and this woman who was a security guard started talking to me out of nowhere. And anybody knows me, know I'm a social butterfly. I could talk anybody ear off, and people just gravitate towards me. And the lady's energy was so amazing. I was like, yo, I gotta touch you. Like, I gotta rub your shoulder. I have to touch you, because the energy you bring into me right now is just crazy. And so I'm constantly in a space of gratitude and wanting to share energy with people and look in that energy and being honest with who I am, and then sharing it with somebody else, and being honest with who they are and appreciating who they are in their moment and what they're sharing with me. And the more that I have done that, the more people have gravitated towards me, and the more opportunities that I have gotten, not because I'm any better than anybody else, but just because I took the time to absorb them and share with them and feel with them and be one with them. And so, this manifestation thing isn't just about like, yo, I need. It's also about you being a being, and in that being, holistically being able to share with somebody else something. If it's a kind word, if it's let them tell you a story. And sometimes I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I don't care, but they just need me to be there, and I do that. But it's crazy, like the things that make me happy, like I could tell you every little thing that make me happy down to the details, and that I appreciate about life. I love going to restaurants where they bring me bread. I don't know why. I don't even eat the goddamn bread. I just love it. When my friends are happy and their children are happy, I'm happy. When I hear music, I could dance in my house all by myself. Like, I don't need nobody else in here. I could go ahead and have a good time, and it's okay. And so it's really also just about looking at life and the opportunity that you have in life, and being at peace with yourself and being at peace with your soul. Somebody asked me today, and I'm gonna go to commercial in a minute, but somebody asked me today how I am doing with the coronavirus and being stuck in the house. And my honest answer was like, I'm fine. Other people are going crazy because they can't get out. I was like, I'm fine. This is an opportunity for me to read some books that I haven't gotten to finish, that I've been bullshitting with. This is an opportunity for me to crochet. I do know how to crochet. I am somebody's grandma, an opportunity for me to do my art. I love art. And making things, an opportunity for me to cook, an opportunity for me to spend time with my son, for me to reflect, for me to have conversations with my friends. Like, I really think that this is a place of growth. And after, everybody's healed, I hope as a people, as a city, as a state, as a community, as humans, that we all come out of this better, that we all come out of it being a better person and not taking what we have for granted. Because ultimately, that's what it boiled down to. We take things for granted. And when you're manifesting, you don't want to take things for granted. You want to really look at all the blessings that you have and everything that the universe conspired to give you, right? And appreciate those things. Otherwise, it don't give you no more. So sit with that for a minute. We're about to go to a commercial. When we come back, I'm going to hit y'all with some more fuckery, some bullshit. Coronavirus edition. How did I bring my dreams alive? Why, with a Anchor podcast, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor does the hard work and distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to Anchor FM to get started. All right. So we're back. The second segment of the show, I am going to give you some pointers, and I'm not going to keep you too long because I know you're very busy and there's lots of DJs on Instagram. But I am going to quickly go over some of the things you can do while you are on quarantine, right? So that this doesn't have to feel like, oh my God, how am I going to manage? What am I going to do? I can't take it anymore. So I'm going to go over some things that you can do to keep you busy during quarantine. And do me a favor, if you do them and you're happy and you're glad and you took the suggestions, please go to my Instagram at I am Karen L, I am KARYNELLE, or go to the Say It Loud Instagram and let me know. DM me, send me pictures. I want to see what you did during your quarantine and what made you feel accomplished, okay? So we're just going to run down the list. This is no particular order. Number 1, and this is for ladies and gentlemen. So guys, you can definitely find things to do, and I'm talking to ladies, gentlemen, relationships, and children, okay? So everybody can stay busy. Number 1, ladies and gentlemen, you can deep clean the crib. And I know some people, like, the house is clean. No, I'm talking about deep clean the crib. All right. So what does that mean? That means we're taking out all the pots and pans. We're cleaning the pantry, the cabinets, the closets. We're donating to food that we know we're not going to eat, that grandma gave us, that we don't even like that shit. We are bagging those up so that we can give them to somebody later on when the time comes. And we're deep cleaning the house. That is going into the closet, throwing out things that don't fit, things you're not going to wear, things you're like, I don't even like it anymore. Somebody gave it to me. We are preparing all of those things to get them out. And given the situation, we might have to donate some of those. So you're deep cleaning the house. You're deep cleaning the garage if you have a garage. But you're definitely getting the house in order. That's number 1. Number 2, you're moving furniture around after you deep clean, or if you don't need a deep clean, you're moving furniture around. So a lot of people don't know this, but your environment has a lot to do with your energy. So does the lighting in the room. So does how we set up things with our chakras and our feng shui. So you might consider making the place just look a little different if you've been in there for days and days and days and you're like, you know what, I need something different, I need a new look. So that could be moving the couch in the living room somewhere else. We don't really want to mess with the wires and the TV and the cable too much, but you might want to put the desk that you're working from somewhere closer to a window so you're getting more sunshine or sunlight. You might consider changing the kids' room around, just moving the furniture around. So you're not painting or anything like that. We're not going to Home Depot. We're still staying quarantined. We're just moving things around so it has a different feel and a different energy. And that will definitely keep you busy for a day or two by the time you kind of figure out how that works. But changing your space and changing the energy in your space has a lot to do with how you feel. And sometimes a little bit of moving, just the furniture and things, moving things around, makes you feel like you're in a different space. Okay, so definitely consider deep cleaning and moving some furniture. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't get my nails done and it's killing me, but this might be a good time to try doing something different with your hair. There's a lot of, not you guys obviously, but ladies, there's a lot of tutorials on makeup and hair online, all kinds of hair, all kinds of makeup. It might be a good opportunity, and I can't do makeup for shit. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not one of those makeup kind of people, but it might be a good opportunity for you to sit down with a mirror and try. I can't even get the damn lashes on, but it might be a good opportunity for you to try to get your makeup done and practice doing it. So that's something else you can do. I thought maybe it might be interesting if you wanted to start a business to begin doing that research, or go back to school, begin doing that research. As far as finances go, it might be an opportunity for you to make an Excel spreadsheet. You can download lots of them from the internet, work out your family finances, either individually or together as a family, and kind of put some goals in place of things that you want to work on. That might be a good goal. If you had thought about losing weight and you're like, you know what, I don't want to stay in quarantine and gain 15, because I don't want to stay in quarantine and gain 15. You might also, what I have been doing between Instagram and YouTube is looking at exercise into videos. I have a couple of friends, Muscles and Curves, Ivan, Lily's Zumba, Brookwine, who are all so much fun and easy to access, and you can get workout tips, and you can work out from your phone, you can work out online, and you're still getting your exercise in. I still say try to get out and get some fresh air, but you have to be very careful. So if that doesn't work, you can exercise in the house. I've also done yoga from YouTube. You can find what you want and begin your exercise. And then also looking for ways to lose weight. Now's a good time to kind of be able to manage what you eat. So when I go to work, sometimes I'm like, I didn't pack lunch this morning. I have to buy whatever's out there, right? This is a good opportunity for you to plan your meals, cook those meals, and then say, okay, you know what, this is the diet that I'm sticking to. I'm in the house. There's no reason why I can't do it. And I understand that there's a lot of snacks, but there's also a lot of fruit, right? What you buy is what's going to be in the house. You might not want to buy it if you don't want to eat it. Or remember that the kids' snacks are for the kids and the adult snacks are for the adults. And if you have a mission, you have to stay focused. Back to the finances. If you have issues with your credit, for whatever reason, now is a good time to write those letters to the credit bureaus. Yes, I said write those letters to the credit bureaus. So the credit bureaus have 60 days, I believe, 30 days, 60 days, where they have to make a decision if you dispute something on your credit, and they either have to take it off or find out that it was true. Now's a good time to dispute things that are still on your credit that should have dropped off, that shouldn't be there, that was someone else's. Sometimes they investigate, they find out it's not even yours, they take it off. So now's a good time to find those letters. You can also Google those letters online regarding credit inquiries or accounts that are not yours, or it's been on my thing too long, or I don't know where it came from. But a lot of people pay companies to do it, and I think that's great, but you can also do that on your own. So that might be an opportunity to print those letters out and get that work done and come out of this in 30, 60, 90 days with a higher credit score, where you can actually purchase the things that you want, because the interest rates are going to be super low. So another thing, so let's talk about the kids again. So kids like structure. Like I said, they want to do fun activities. What are some of the fun activities we could do with the kids? Number one, mommies and daddies, you can cook with the kids. Kids need to learn how to cook anyway. I teach my son how to cook. I like having cooking night with him. I do not want him to be stuck with some woman because he can't take care of himself. So I've been teaching him how to do the laundry. I make him wash his clothes after basketball practice. We're in the kitchen together cooking. I'm teaching him how to use things. So definitely baking a cake, baking banana bread. It's all over Instagram. Teaching them how to cook some things and saying, grab the chair, push it up. You know, I'm here watching you. It's always a fun thing for children. Jason and I actually had a romantic dinner night where we had like 3 or 4 course meal, and we both cooked it together, and he made some things and I made some things, and we lit a candle and we had dinner. So it was a lot of fun. He was very excited. You could tell the kids to get dressed up and everybody have dinner together. Doesn't matter who's with you. That might be fun. But definitely doing fun. We had a game night, so we definitely played games. We have movie night all the time. Movie night in this house is like every night, but movie night, popcorn, blankets. We kind of slept in the living room that night, which is not something I like because I hate my living room a mess, but nonetheless, definitely doing things that are engaging with the kids. Also growing their creativity and their interests. So letting them pick. Mommies and daddies, you might write some things on a little piece of paper that the kids could do. Put it in a hat. Let them pick one out. Okay, today that's what we're going to do. We're going to paint, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And, you know, find things in the house that they might find interesting. Presents that they got that they didn't really play with. Or, you know, we're trying not to go out. I don't want you guys spending any money, but definitely looking things that might be interesting for you and the kids to do in the house. And so that they're not constantly on the computers. I am a big advocate as an educator that people that read are way smarter than people that don't read. And I know y'all gonna be mad at me for that, but it is statistically proven. A, B, I've seen the difference. I used to read to my kids when they were in my belly. And they're all brilliant. They're smarter than me. So the more your kids read, the more articulate they are, the more vocabulary they know. The bigger their imagination is. So I'm encouraging parents to have kids read every day. And I would rather it not be on a computer, but if they have a Kindle, a book, definitely 20 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of reading. Let them read to you, because my son will try to be like, I read. And I'll be like, what's the story about? He'll be like, oh. So definitely have the kids reading books and sharing what they read with you, because if you're engaging with them, then they'll do it. You don't engage with them, they're going to just open the book and stay on the same page the whole entire time. Also, mommies and daddies, read a book. I have Michelle Obama's book here. I am going to read Becoming. I started it. I never really finished it. So Definitely taking time before bed. I also have the journal that goes with it. So journaling, if that's something for you. Gentlemen, do not feel like journaling is not something that you guys could do too. Writing down what you want and manifesting what you want has nothing to do with being male or female. It's about planning your life and what you want for your life. And when you write that shit down, it gets really real. I actually have journals on my website if you want to purchase one. But if not, that's okay. I'm not going to argue with you, but definitely writing down what you want and manifesting the things you want. So journaling is really good at that. If I show you a promise journal I have, and it was promises to myself, it's called Promises for Me, and I bought the journal a couple years ago, and I wrote just things in it, and I didn't think anything of it. I just wrote it and I manifested it, the things that I want. And if I show you back down to the place that I'm living today, it's in that book a couple of years ago, and I still have it, and I keep it on my desk, and I go back to it, and I'm like, oh shit, this is amazing. So definitely male and female, definitely journaling and writing down the things that you want. Self-care, your chakras, your meditation, you should still be meditating. I meditate early in the morning. I get up an hour before I need to get up so that I have time to meditate, and I try to meditate before I go to bed. So you could be meditating throughout the day, and it doesn't have to be like, yo, I'm gonna sit on a yoga mat and do something that's foreign to me. It's really just about sitting and manifesting and having gratitude and being happy and being mindful and taking some time for yourself away from everything else. So I definitely suggest doing that. If you have hobbies or you always wanted a hobby, now's the time to do it. So again, like I said, if it's painting, writing, journaling, playing with your motorcycle bike, if you have one, fixing something that needs to be fixed, an interest that you always have, research that you always wanted to do. Now is the time to do it, to grow yourself and get comfortable in your skin, in your space where there's not really anything too much outside of that to rattle you. Every day we live and we're like, we got to take care of the kids. We got to go to work. We got to get on the train. We got on the bus. We got to drive for an hour. We got to come home. We got to do dinner. We got basketball practice. We got ballet. And now's your time where you just stay still. And so you get to do what you want in your still. You get to grow into yourself in your still. And I know there's crazy outside. So it's like, Karen, how can I worry about that when this is crazy outside? But you can't change that, right? So what you have to do is just find the time to be still for yourself and work on yourself in your stillness and the things that you love and that you're passionate about. And like I said, we all come out of this better. So that's the kids. That's each of you individually. Those are some ideas of things that you could do. Now let's talk about the relationships, because this is now a relationship podcast. What can you do? So if you're in a relationship with someone or you're quarantined with bae, there's still things that you could do. Let me talk to the mommies and daddies first. When you have kids and you quarantine, that's hard, right? You guys are getting up in the morning early. The kids are there. They're always there. They're not going to go anywhere. They're your kids. But you still need to take time over these next couple of months or weeks to take care of your relationship. That is really important, or y'all gonna get on each other motherfucking nerves. Okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. So, what do you need to do? You need to do your individual work. That's what I said. Your individual work, your journaling, your meditation, your interest, your research, whatever it is that you want to do, you need to allow yourself to still be an individual in that space. And then together, you need to come back together and say, okay, during this quarantine time, you know what we're going to do? Every Tuesday and Thursday night, we're going to have date night. What does that look like? That looks like you're putting the kids to bed at 8:30. I don't know how old they are, but for your younger kids, you're going to bed at 8:30. You got online school in the morning. And if you have the kids on a schedule, which they should be on, then at 8:30, you can say, okay, it's time to go to your room. You ain't got to go to sleep, but you got to lay down. You got to wind down. You can go watch a movie, relax, and chill. All right? And then mommy and daddy, that's time for you to go into your room and say, okay, this is our date night. This is our date time. And what does that look like? That might look like a bubble bath for the two of you. That might look like you two putting on your favorite show and y'all put on something a little cute and you just have that energy and that space with each other. That might look like, okay, you know what, let's the two of us go bake cookies in the room and we'll drop them off in the kids' room. But we're going to take that time together where we could just be together and kind of focus on each other together, right? So that's still really important, because if you don't do that, then, it takes away from the relationship, right? And after 2 months, you're going to be like, yo, I'm locked up in here. there's no intimacy, there's no this, there's no that, or there's too much of that, like I'm tired of it, right? So there has to be a good balance between that. Communication is really important. Play games with each other. Take a shower together. Say, okay, babe, you write this. Where are some of the places you want to go? Where are some of the places, and you can do this with the kids too. Let's play a game together. Let's, kind of figure out our relationship. What's planning for the future? Are we going to get married? Are we going to have kids? Are we going to buy a house? How are we going to do that? Like, now is a good time, like I said, to take care of yourselves and make that time. But right now, as far as couples are concerned, you have to carve out that time within the chaos, right? That's really important. You have to carve out that time within the chaos. So everybody's home, the place is packed, we got cousins, aunts, and uncles. We have to cut out our time and say, okay, this is our time. We're going to go up to our room at 8 o'clock. The kids are going to be in bed, and we're just going to spend this time together, boot up, because that's what we need to do to get through this, to make this work, to deal with everything that we did today with managing the kids or whatever have you. And that's really important, right? Ladies and gentlemen, you can also get up in the morning, make each other breakfast in bed. It's okay. It's okay, because during the regular time, during the regular life, we don't get to do that as often as we want. So now might be a nice time to let's take a bath together. Let's make each other breakfast one day. Like, you do it one day, I'll do another. You get the kids this day, I'll get the kids that day. You know what I mean? And still being able to make that flourish and that work together. Y'all single people during this coronavirus, and I'm with y'all single people. I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all need to sit down. Well, I'm single too, so I probably need to DM Russell and Sierra and find out what prayer that was, because I don't even know. But this is a time also where you can also, they said Russell wrote down 5 things that he wanted before he met Sierra, and that were like non-negotiables, and that might be an opportunity to begin doing that work, including for myself, because I don't really manifest that type of stuff, where you're just like, okay, what do I want, and what am I manifesting, what am I attracting into my life, and how am I doing that work for myself? Okay. As far as people that are dating, you guys are gonna have to be really, like, I saw this all over Instagram today, you're gonna have to be really, really, really creative on how you date during this coronavirus. So all of that FaceTime shit, y'all gonna have to do that. Google Meet, Google Hangout, virtual party. How do I ask somebody out? Because otherwise, it's all on standstill. Like, you can't go anywhere together. You can't take somebody out. So you're going to have to think outside the box. Y'all might have a date online where we just drinking wine online and shooting the shit. Like a FaceTime chat, and be like, you know what? We would normally go to dinner, but since we can't, you get your dinner and I'll get my dinner, and we're going to sit here for an hour and schedule it. And that's okay. That's okay. Somebody who really wants to talk to you is going to talk to you. So if you have to say, let's have a Google Meet or a Google chat, then go ahead, schedule your Google Meet, he could get his food, you could get your food, he could have them deliver you some food if he want to. And yes, fellas or ladies, you could be like, look, I'm gonna send you a meal and I'm gonna order the same thing, and they're gonna deliver it, and the two of us are gonna sit on chat for an hour, and we're gonna have a date. You might have to do that, right? Because we're going to have to get outside the box, and that the way this is looking, ain't nobody leaving for 6 weeks. So think about dating as of outside the box, since you cannot do the traditional things you would normally do. I know my daughter used to watch movies with her boyfriend. Like, he was on FaceTime, and then the movie was on, and then they would start the movie at the same time and both be watching it together. And at the time, I was like, the fuck is you doing? Like, that's stupid. Now I'm like, that might not be such a bad idea. So how does that work? He has Netflix, you have Netflix, but y'all quarantining, remember? So you start the same movie that he start at the same exact time, and then y'all on FaceTime together, or y'all on Google Meet or whatever, and then you're watching the movie at the same time. So put the movie on the TV, but then the phone on, or the movie on the phone and the laptop, or some way like that. But it might be something to think about. It sounds crazy, but it could be like, let's watch a movie together, and you watching a movie, he watching a movie, y'all just not in the same space. It sounds crazy, but that's the world that we live in right now. You understand? So it might be something to think about. Also, again, like I said, you can't have a date in person, but you might want to consider, like, okay, let me send her some food, and she send me some food, and we're gonna sit and we're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a chat. We're gonna chill. And we're gonna schedule those chats every week or every other day or whatever the case may be. And ladies, you're just gonna have to make sure your wig is on during that time and your hair is done, because we don't like the FaceTimes that ain't scheduled. But so that you could feel good about it and still get to grow and know someone outside of just being able to be together. And wanted to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, it's really gonna shake the shit out. Like, it's really going to, because somebody that fucks with you, they going to keep fucking with you. And somebody that don't fuck with you, they just not going to fuck with you. They not going to do it. And so it's really going to show for both parties, male and female, who's with it and interested in trying to build something, and who's like, I don't really want to. That's too much work, whatever. Then that person not really interested in you, or didn't really see the value of having a relationship with you or getting to know you. So this is really an opportunity where people could get to know each other versus like, let's just go on a date and, in a date or two we fucking and then there's nothing there. At least this allows you to grow that into something outside of that, and so in the long run it might be more work, but it might be more healthy for everybody. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, this is coronavirus edition. Sorry I didn't bring enough fuckery, but I gave you some good ideas. I'll bring another episode early this week. If you want to see more of me, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. I am Karen L. Say it loud on all streaming platforms. iHeart, Apple, iTunes, you name it, we got you covered. Google Music. If you're looking for ad space, we are now offering ad space on Say It Loud. That's right. You can have a pre-roll, mid-roll, or post-roll commercial. Go to the website or DM me. I'll get you some information on that. We're also looking for sponsors, wine, tea, liquor, and anything that can go inside the Say It Loud whole bag. So toys and things like that. So definitely hit me up if you have an interest in being a sponsor or placing an ad on the podcast. The numbers are growing. I am so happy. Thank you all for believing in me and following me and listening to all of the shows and all of the fuckery and whatever have you. It means a lot. I will be back this week with another episode for you guys. I'm doing a show this weekend, so I'll definitely have some footage of that. Oh yeah, the YouTube channel is coming. I'm working on it. It's secured. I'm recording a show tomorrow, so that'll be up there. Our Patreon is alive and well. If you'd like to subscribe to Patreon to get all the behind the scenes, more content, discounts on merch, that's there. The merch is on the website. Go to the website, www.sayitloud.com, for all things Karen L. and Say It Loud. So merch, to book me for events, even though nobody's going anywhere right now, to host me on your show. I will come on if you invite me. For sponsorships, ad placements, all of that stuff, go to the website. All the information is there, or reach out to me. I definitely would love to work with you. I hope you feel better. Be well. Be safe. We out.